Hello captains! It is I, TRZ Plays, and today we are going to be making a commentary video for once. Yay! They're finally back! After what felt like 3 years. We are going to be talking about the worst ships in World of Warships Legends, and if you're watching this gameplay, no, this is not one of them. Lenin is good. Fight me. So this list will mostly consist of tier 6 and tier 7 ships per se. So I'll compare those. I would have included tier 5 and lower, but that would be a separate video. So tier 6 and tier 7 are the main list here. This is probably going to include 2 cruisers, 2 battleships, and 1 destroyer that I picked and consider to be the worst in the game, or the ones you should have a lot more experience with them before tackling them. So without further ado, and enough about the nonsense, let's start this video right now, shall we? Detonating at the number 5 spot, we have the Surrey, or as I like to call it, the cheap little Exeter. Now there's a reason why I call it that. One, historically it was like a design to improve the Exeter. Meanwhile here on Legends, it feels like a degradation of an already good ship. Now, what does this have that, in my opinion, one of, if not the best cruiser at tier 6 has? The Fiji. What does it have that Fiji doesn't? HE. That's what it is, HE. And it doesn't have a smoke. Fiji gets a smoke. Fiji also gets a hydro. An actually good one. Smoke and hydro combo is actually good. This thing doesn't get anything. And to be frankly honest, sorry, it's just bland. Now, originally, I was going to put Devonshire here as well, but at the same time, there's barely any difference between the two. They're both shit. But I went for the higher tier one because Surrey is probably the most painful one to play out of the entire cruiser line. And people say Hawkins is bad and Devonshire is bad. You haven't experienced anything if you got your hands on this. My recommendation with Surrey is go for a full William Tennant build. Because, honestly speaking, I can't even be bothered to talk about this ship. That's how bad it is. I would much rather play York or Algori than Surrey. And that's not a joke. I'll actually do that. Compared with the best cruisers of its tier, Fiji and Myoko, nothing to offer. Nothing. Even with the worst of its tier, Algori gets engine boost, York gets German hydro, Shores gets radar. This thing is a joke. A complete joke. And I can compare only to New Orleans, but at least New Orleans gets good AP. This thing gets nothing. And remember when I said I would much rather play Algori than this? Yeah, we'll talk about that now. Ah, yes. Coming in at our number 4 spot, could it be anyone else but the Algori? Now, I was debating putting York, Indianapolis, or Algori in this spot. But then I realized something. Algori is garbage. York, you can actually torp rush battleships and survive. Indianapolis, you can stealth radar. This thing offers nothing except engine boost. And you see here, on this build that I'm running, this isn't even a cruiser commander build. I am running I can't believe I'm saying this. A secondary build Algori. Somehow made it feasible. I actually managed to defeat a Gneisenau in a brawl in this game. No, it wasn't even a Gneisenau, it was a Scharnhorst in this game with a secondary build Algori. That's literally the good thing you can do. This thing isn't meant to be played seriously, from what I've gathered. That's how shit it is. Granted, your torpedo range is colossal, but nobody uses French torpedoes on cruisers. The only ones that I can tolerate are Emile Bertin and La Galissonier. This thing, not good at all. If you were going to start the grind to Charles Martel, just boost through this thing so you could alleviate the suffering, to say the least. Sorry if my English is atrocious. This is just grim to play. Algori is just grim. Coming in at our number 3 spot, we have... Wait, is my script reading this correctly? Yeah, it is. We're getting Nagato. You heard that right. A Japanese battleship that isn't at the bottom spot. Nagato is interesting, to say the least. Now, I put this here for a reason you'll soon find out once I once I cover our number 1 spot. But Nagato, it's actually starting to grow on me ever since I finished the grind to Amagi. I'm starting to like Nagato a lot. But at the same time, I do understand the arguments of some people, especially myself, because it's inaccurate, it barely has any armor, nothing. The one thing I do appreciate with Nagato is that it's a learning curve for Amagi, which is good because that's probably going to be my next tier 7 battleship since I already got Kansas. But the argument for Nagato is obvious because of its atrocious accuracy and frankly its non-existent armor. Compare it to its sister ship Mutsu. You get 4 torpedo tubes, which is nothing, but at the same time, when I played Mutsu, I felt that it is more accurate than Nagato. It just could be me, but I felt that it is more accurate. So for Nagato, I've made valid arguments, so I'm going to leave it at that. And we'll jump on to our number 2 spot, shall we? Coming in at the number 2 spot, we have Minsk. Where do I begin with this thing? Where do I begin? Minsk, you are a strict gunboat. Never forget that. You're a strict gunboat with YOLO torpedoes. Now here's the problem with that. Compared to its other tier 6 Soviet counterparts. Ognivoy, that's strictly a torpedo boat. Well, from what I've played with it, it's a strict torpedo boat. Leningrad is a hybrid. You can both gunboat and do a torpedo boat build as well. Minsk is strictly a gunboat, and Minsk is probably the most painful grind for any player who plays the Soviet destroyers. My top tip is keep Anton Gurin, keep him, don't do anything stupid. He should stay on your Minsk for the rest of his days. Now, I barely have any arguments in favor of the Minsk. One argument being that one ship that is significantly worse than Minsk is probably Vakwilin. Now the reason why I didn't put Vakwilin here is also because I don't have the ship per se, so I can't really speak for the ship. But comparing Minsk, the stats for the Minsk and the Vakwilin, Vakwilin is slightly, if not much better than Minsk. So safe to say that this is the well-deserving spot for the Minsk. Now we are going to head to our number 1 spot, where I'll be very angry. See you on the number 1 spot. We waited 1 year for a French premium to come back. Coming in at our number 1 spot, we have Champagne. Champagne, where do we begin? How about you suck? You shouldn't have been in the game. Gascoigne is better. Jean Bart was better. Richelieu's better. Yeah, I have nothing positive to say about this. I really don't. It's accurate. That's about it. We get a different gun caliber after 2 tiers of the same gun caliber. But that came at a cost of squishy armor and being a laughingstock. Remember when I said that Roma was bad? Yeah, this thing gives Roma a run for its money. Roma is 10 times better than Champagne. And for an obvious reason. Roma can pen shit. Champagne can't. Champagne gets the French gimmick of overpenning everything. And incredibly squishy. But the one thing that it has to its advantage is the engine boost. Because it's the fastest battleship at tier 7. And it's also a main French gimmick. And what else is there to say? It just gets 406mm for a French battleship, which is a first. So that's all I have to say for Champagne. I really can't be bothered to waste saliva talking about this thing. So that's enough for the list. And so you made it this far, lads and lasses. So I'm going to say, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe. And also feel free to comment your opinions as to what ship deserves to be on this list or what ship doesn't deserve to be on this list. Feel free to tell me. I'm open to all comments and all criticism. And that's all I have to say for this video. And enjoy the Ochakov double strike that you are witnessing right in front of your very eyes. That's all I have to say. Good luck, and I will see you all on the high and calm seas. Goodbye, comrades.